Since the dawn of time, man has chased after his food, but now food chases after man.
Based on the information collected, we have concluded that fast food is detrimental to overall health, but it also disrupts the traditional family structure and should not be consumed under any circumstance. However, we realize this is unrealistic, and therefore we suggest people become more aware of the fast food they are consuming and make better nutritional choices by limiting their fast food consumption.
In a nonfiction exploration of modern food culture called Omnivore's Dilemma, author Michael Pollan discusses how the world's perception and definition of fast food has changed.
Pollan uses rhetorical appeals to create a conceiting and nostalgic tone to reveal how the fast food industry has developed an effective system to cater to society's desire for convenience while making it more attractive to customers. Through Michael Pollan's book and various points made by the documentary Food Inc., we're led to believe that the food industry has drastically changed over the past few decades to accommodate for the sporadic and sudden changes in customer demands. The fast food industry has changed by increasing the convenience of eating fast food, improving its public image through clever public relations, and increasing their portion sizes.
On Saturday, September 27th, we went to 18 different fast food restaurants and attempted to ask them questions, but only 4 of them were cooperative. And all of these 4 restaurants that answered these questions didn't allow us to film them. These 4 restaurants included Taco Bell, Carl's Jr., Burger King, and Domino's.
McDonald's is perhaps the most industrialized and therefore most profitable fast food corporation of all time. Recently, a local McDonald's in Huntington Beach began undergoing construction to add an extra lane to create a double drive-thru, providing even more convenience to the customer.
I interviewed my aunt, Christy Camperi, who is a former employee at McDonald's in 1998, and through the interview, she helped shed some light regarding certain subjects McDonald's neglected to answer.
Hello, I'm Laura Doty, and I am accompanied by Christy Camperi, a former employee at McDonald's, and she has agreed to share some of her past experiences regarding her last job. Thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
I would like to ask you some questions.
Okay, fire away.
Okay, so the sizes and how they've changed. So when you worked there, what was the average size that someone ordered?
Probably a medium.
And how many ounces was that?
Probably about 10.
10 ounces. The conditions of the workplace, were they fairly neat? Were there any pesticides used? Did they tent your building often?
Nope, I remember it being quite neat and orderly, and it functioned really well. Very
That's good.
smoothly.
Wages. Did they fluctuate your wage when they got less business, or was it pretty straightforward?
No, it was constant.
Constant. So how were you treated in your workplace? Were they welcoming, inviting? Did you have a harsh manager?
It could be difficult at times.
But overall, treated fairly well?
Yes.
In your opinion, what has changed since you worked there, like then versus now,
Well, as far
with
as-
prices and other things?
Well, prices are definitely inflated from what they were then. Regarding the drinks, they're definitely way bigger than they used to be.
So you admit that they supersized it?
Oh, absolutely.
And then menu items. They seem to add a lot more, right? With breakfast and salads and other
Yeah,
stuff.
they had breakfast then, but yeah, I don't remember that they had salads. It was pretty much burgers and the usual.
And then what did you do when you worked there?
I did various jobs. Sometimes I would wait on customers. And a lot of the time I worked at the different stations, cooking fries and the grill stations.
Oh,
as
so you
well.
did food preparation?
Yeah. Mostly.
How much cooking oil did you go through?
Goodness. Quite a lot, because the fryers are actually pretty deep.
Mm-hmm.
And say for the fry station, there's like, I believe it was 5 fryers. And they were full of oil. I mean, you literally submerged the fries into the cook it. So it was quite a lot used.
Do you remember what oil it was?
It was vegetable oil.
Okay. So you did food preparation. Were the items frozen when you received them to cook them?
Yes.
So they were pre-frozen?
Yes.
Were you aware of where they came from? Or when you received shipments and if they were from a different state?
No, I wasn't aware of where they were from.
Okay. I think this concludes all of our questions. Thank you very much for cooperating.
You're welcome. I hope it was helpful.
Thanks.
In the interview with her, she stated how the biggest change she noticed between modern fast food and the fast food of the late 80s was supersizing, in which most popular drink sizes in 1998 was only 10 ounces, and now the medium contains 32 ounces, which is equivalent to 1 quart. She also mentioned that in 1998, the majority of people sat down in the restaurant to eat, but now the average drive-thru restaurant has about 70% of their sales outside. We were lucky to have the opportunity to interview a McDonald's employee, as McDonald's tends to keep most of their information private.
After spending 14 years in a jar, a McDonald's hamburger still looked almost exactly the same as a fresh hamburger from McDonald's.
Throughout the book, Omnivore's Dilemma, author Michael Pollan continuously discusses the modern industrialized fast food industry, as well as the changes it has caused in our eating habits and family values. In addition, there has been dramatic change with the added convenience of these restaurants. His main points were derived from his observations regarding how this affected America as a whole. Pollan goes in depth in a particular passage speaking about the convenience of fast food, specifically drive-thrus. Pollan convinces the audience that his reason and purpose are correct by using statistics such as 19% of American meals are eaten in the car. He also mentions the highest priced meal at McDonald's is a salad at $3.99, which contains some of the unhealthiest ingredients on the menu. Pollan also mentions that a meal for 3 can be ready to go in 4 minutes, which ties into his main point regarding fast food's increased convenience. Omnivore's Dilemma was published in 2006, and since then, the food industry has gotten even more convenient. These statistics are all touching on the fact that fast food is incredibly convenient and easy, providing reason for how the fast food industry has changed so greatly.
The next interview we conducted was with the manager of public relations at Chick-fil-A, Jen Baker. During this interview, Becca and Maddie asked questions that revealed simple statistics about their food and important information on how industrialized the franchise has become.
First question is, how old is your business?
This particular store, our particular owner has had this business for about 2.5 years.
Okay, cool. And what are your most popular items?
Everything. The Chick-fil-A sandwich. That's the original sandwich. So that's really popular. Spicy sandwich is really popular, and the nuggets.
Okay, yeah. What's your least popular menu item?
Probably so far because it's new, is like our grilled nuggets. They're newer, so not as many people know about them. And the breaded nuggets are so darn good.
So what would you say is like the average amount of customers per day in your drive-thru?
We get about 60 to 80% of our business is drive-thru. Wow, that's a lot, right? And lunchtime, that's our money. So on an average lunch hour from 12 to 1, we range anywhere from like 80 to 110 cars. So that's that's people that are either getting one order or like they're getting an order for the office, like 5 or 6 orders. So and our dining room is just kind of not as busy. We fill the entire restaurant in that hour, but it's fine. But that's pretty much dies down after lunch. So does that give you kind of a
That's perfect.
all right?
How have you changed your business model in the past to adapt to customers' appeals such as price, product, quality?
Well, because we're a franchise of the corporation kind of, they're always trying to be on the cutting edge of everything. So like we just started doing like mobile ordering. So like you get your iPhone and there's an app and you order and then like, I don't know if I'm answering this question.
No.
But that you order and then like when you get here, when you pull in, you check in, and then we get your order ready. Like you pay on the app and everything, and we just bring it to you. So like we're always changing like with the times. You know, and we have like our iPads have our computer system on it. So during our lunchtime, we have 2 people outside that are taking the car's orders instead of them waiting to get up to the drive-through, the speaker. So we've got it all going. So then once they get to the window, we're like, here you go, thank you for your money, you know, or they can swipe their card and pay right there.
So it's a lot more efficient.
Yeah,
And more convenient too, for both the company and for the customer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So how much food do you think you serve on a daily basis? A lot.
Yeah. I don't even know. Like a lot of chicken. Yeah. I mean, if it gives you an idea, like you guys have, like, everybody pretty much will order, you know, a chicken sandwich or something. So and a fry or whatever. So for every person, if you just think about like that lunch hour, if just there was 100 cars in a lunch hour, so you've got 100 chicken sandwiches. So if you just kind of do the piecing together.
Okay, how much cooking oil do you go through daily or monthly? And it doesn't have to be like an exact percentage.
I don't even know. We have 4 fryers that we use for the chicken and 2 that we use for the fries. They last, the oil in there lasts about 2 days, depending on how much we use them. So, gosh, I don't even know.
What kind of like oils do you use? Like canola oil?
We use canola oil for our fries and our hash browns, and then we use the peanut oil for all the chicken products that are breaded and fried.
Okay. And so walking in, we noticed you guys have a lot of condiments. So how much of those do you have to order monthly?
It depends on which ones. Like our sauces, we go through a lot, you know, and then so our more popular sauces, like the Chick-fil-A sauce, we're gonna order an extra case of that compared to like the barbecue or not even the barbecues. Well, yeah. So like we get it, you know, we don't sell or we don't give out as much jam or honey as we do sauces. So it varies that way, but we usually get about, like for our Chick-fil-A sauce, I'll give that as an example. We get our deliveries on Saturday and Wednesday. So we usually get about 6 boxes or 6 cases, each cases of the Chick-fil-A sauce on Wednesday and on Saturday. So that's just a normal.
Okay, do most people seem to get combos? Like most people, majority, or like half?
No, I'd say the majority of people just want the combo. It's easier.
Yeah.
Breakfast is obviously a huge factor. Have you noticed an increase in breakfast orders?
Yeah, we open at 6:30 for breakfast, and we have breakfast till 10:30. So yeah, our drive-through is pretty steady in the morning now, and it took a little bit of time to let everybody know that we do serve breakfast, you know, and it's good.
You guys provide free refills, so how often do people refill their drinks?
For the most part, they usually do it before they're getting ready to leave. We do have people that, you know, our team members will come and will ask if they want a refill or whatever. But for the majority of the people, it's just when they leave.
Okay, how often do people go back for seconds? Or to like order something in addition?
That often. It's mostly like if they want a dessert or something. But most of the people will just, I think because they know the menu, they will order, like they'll know that they want an extra nugget, like an extra 8 count of nuggets to go with their sandwich, you know, or something, or they know that they like the cookies, that kind of stuff.
Have your portion sizes changed over the last 5 years?
I don't think so. I'm not positive on that. They've always been like small, medium, large, but I don't think they've changed at all. I think our portions are pretty good.
Yeah.
They're not like obscene.
Yeah, definitely. Great, thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. It's my pleasure.
The information we obtained from this interview reveals how industrialized the fast food chain business has become. For example, convenient apps that allow customers to order fast food meals from anywhere has been developed by multiple companies and Chick-fil-A. They receive 60 to 80% of their customers in a drive-thru. It is also interesting that most of the new menu items, not only at Chick-fil-A but other restaurants as well, are the least popular. Overall, even though Chick-fil-A was part of the most industrialized fast food businesses, they were also the most open. In comparison to most businesses, this store was cooperative, organized, and clean while still retaining the inherently negative description of industrialized.
These next companies were cooperative but did not allow us to interview them. They did, however, answer all or almost all of our questions. The first business we went to was Burger King. The manager was very easy to talk to and answered all questions in depth and with precise amounts. For example, he told us that 10% of all dining customers went back for seconds. However, about 90% of them refilled their drinks. And additionally, he also told us that portion sizes have decreased in the last 10 years, even though it's very common knowledge that the opposite is true.
The next business we went to was not as open and answered very little of our questions. This business was Taco Bell. Many businesses declined to answering our simple questions because the employees that we spoke to were afraid of saying the wrong thing, losing their job, and or possibly causing a lawsuit. The information we asked was not public information and most likely proprietary. The info could have been valuable to how they market or compete. It isn't a secret that fast food has been a topic of conversation in regards to health, nutritional, and caloric content. Certain questions are red flags, and employees can be instructed to defer questions related to certain topics to the PR department of that corporation. Taco Bell only answered a few extremely general questions, and the answers that they gave us were vague and unspecific. For example, when asked, "How often do people refill their drinks?" Taco Bell answered, "Often."
An Alabama law firm once sued Taco Bell because their taco meat only contained 39% real beef and they didn't seem that it was fit to call it beef.
The second to last business we went to was Domino's. We visited them 3 times over the course of 4 hours. On the first visit, there were no customers inside, and they claimed to be very busy, and to their convenience, asked us to return at a later time so the official manager would be on the floor. On the second visit, they once again asked us to return at a later time to compensate for the manager who was very late to his shift. On the third and final visit, we interviewed one of the employees while the temp manager was behind the counter. The answers he provided gave us a good idea of their statistics. For example, they make between 20 and 25 pizzas per hour. The amount varies on particular days, coinciding with special deals. The average amount of deliveries is about 6 to 8 deliveries an hour, and the average amount of orders is 3 pizzas, usually ranging from medium to extra large. Shortly after, the temporary manager came out and agreed to answer some of our questions. But when comparing the information we collected, the regular employee provided far more useful statistics. We noticed that the people high in command chose to withhold information, most likely due to the fact that they are aware of the consequences of disobeying the company's rules. The last restaurant we visited was Carl's Jr., which did not want to cooperate in the beginning. After some persuasion, the manager took the interviewing questions and said she would answer them later. We learned from the questions that Carl's Jr. has increased their business sales in breakfast foods alone by 3% in the last year. In addition, when we visited, there was only about 5 people in the restaurant, while there was a huge line in the drive-thru. The manager, Debbie, told us that the drive-thru accommodated for 60 to 65% of their profits and or sales, especially during their busiest times of breakfast and lunch. Along with many other businesses, Carl's Jr. noticed that their limited time offers are usually the least popular on the menus.
The Five Guys restaurant has the most unhealthy fries in America, with their large fries containing 1,500 calories and 71 grams of fat. Fast food today has changed drastically since the past few decades. According to an article from the HuffPost, the average meal is 4 times larger than it was in the 1950s, and 96% of fast food franchises exceed the nutritional guidelines in trans and saturated fats, sodium, and calories. In the 1950s, the average amount of French fries was about 2.4 ounces, hamburgers were 3.9 ounces, sodas were 7 ounces, but today the average amount is 6.7 ounces for fries, hamburgers being 12 ounces, and sodas a whopping 32 ounces, which is 1 quart.
Of course, these statistics vary from restaurant to restaurant, but this is still a concerning jump. The concept of supersizing is not limited specifically to fast food. Other studies have proven that only 20 years ago, portion sizes, along with extra unnecessary ingredients, have jumped significantly. The average coffee drink 20 years ago was 45 calories with cream and sugar, but today the same coffee is a jaw-dropping 330 calories.
The same applies to pizza and even movie popcorn. Movie popcorn 20 years ago was only 270 calories, and that number is quite concerning on its own. But then, in comparison, the average amount today is a whopping 630 calories. Over the years, supersizing has caused the average obesity to skyrocket, making over 1/3 of the United States obese. Fast food chains have an increased price, size, ingredients, and wait time to lure in the customers.
In addition, over the years, the idea of family values have shrunk. Families are willing to sacrifice having a sit-down family meal in order to get their food in under 10 minutes and eat them in separate rooms watching TV. Like stated in our chosen passage from the Omnivore's Dilemma, the author, Michael Pollan, writes, "Together we would be eating alone, and therefore probably eating more, relating to the new norm of dysfunctional family values."
In limiting fast food consumption, it's possible that traditional family structure can be restored. We suggest that each family has dinner together at least once a week to prevent the tempting convenience of fast food from affecting them negatively. So one last thing to think about, are you going to let your food chase you?
To grieve on their own, on the run, when their lives have only begun.
What? Over here.
Hey, drink the punch. Here, take the cup. Hey, take the cup.
Please remain stationary. A service bot will be here to assist you momentarily.